This evening by Shaha Simai Shehe. How you doing, Shaha?
I'm good. I'm doing pretty good. Especially with the weather that is around here. I feel very nice.
It's been pretty rainy here today,
Yeah, it's kind of changing the weather.
but now it's
Something.
freshening up and the sun's about to set over in that direction. And I'm very confident that the connection is going to be better than my last attempt at a live stream here in Zanzibar, which was about a week ago over on the east coast of the island in Jambiani, where I am based right now. And you're from Jambiani,
Yeah, I'm from Zambia.
and you and I are building in Jambiani.
Yeah, we're building project. It's not like project. It's project because we expect to have more than one project. So we're gonna say project. So it's a couple projects that we've been going through right now, and we've been getting set up for them, and we're trying to make sure that everything is going fine with that. So hopefully we're going to open that shit. Thank you.
Asante Rafiki. We're at a rooftop bar here in Stonetown. Really incredible setting, and I'm going to discuss point out some of the sites, and maybe you help me out with some of the history. I used to really geek out about the views from rooftops here in Stonetown, and this place, is it new? That where we're at? There
Um,
aren't so many
at that time,
rooftops
no.
here in Stonetown with bars and
Uh,
infinity
you-
pools,
I,
etc.
I think 2 years ago it was called clubs, and then there was this Indian girl that took this place and they ran it out, and now it's called Upendo House. So it's been like it's kind of new building here in Stone Town, and it's such amazing place. As you can see there, you can get to see sunset, but because of the cloud and the weather, it's kind of hiding, because of the clouds. But this place is kind of new. It's new according to compared to the buildings that are here and stuff. It's called Opendo House, where you can see the beautiful view around the ferry, and also you can get to see sunsets as well.
So speaking of the ferry and the view, let's set the scene a little bit. It's a very historic location where we're at, in addition to having nice views of the Indian Ocean. Can you guys hear us all right over the music that's in the background? If we need to, we'll put in the earphones. Please let us know. And thank you very much for whoever's tuned in at the moment. You do have, as I mentioned, the Indian Ocean right here. Shaha was saying the ferries come in, so there's a ferry that goes back and forth between Stonetown, Zanzibar, and Dar es Salaam, Tanzania's largest city over on the mainland. Well, Tanzania's largest city, period, and it's located on the mainland, on Tanzania's Indian Ocean coast. And the ferry goes back and forth throughout much of the day, and you can see it coming in and out. But then, as far as the buildings go, I think it's the one right there is the former Sultan's palace, correct?
Yep. That one.
Unfortunately, here in Stonetown, Fort. Oh, great, Renee! Thank you very much. I'm I'm very enthused to hear that the audio is 10 out of 10, especially after last time. And also, speaking of last time, this time you have some proper lighting, and I'm not in silhouette. I'm not a ghost. I've done a whole bunch of videos from Zanzibar in the past, including Stonetown. Haven't done any live streams from Stonetown unless you would count the Zanzibar City Revolution Day ones. So I've explained it in prior videos, but I'm guessing most of you tuned in haven't seen those
Oh, wait.
vid-
This time we can get there.
Shaw's pointing out that we're starting to get a sunset. Oh, not too shabby. I'll flip the camera around before getting into the history. We're on the west coast of Unguja, the main island of Zanzibar, so You typically get very nice sunsets here, and there was a very nice sunset last night. Unfortunately, today it's quite cloudy, and it's been rainy, so not the nicest sunset. Oh, there's the ferry coming in. Can I zoom? Yeah, there it is. It says Kilimanjaro on it, named after Mount Kilimanjaro. So that's the ferry we were mentioning that goes back and forth between Zanzibar and Dar es Salaam. And I was starting to point out the former Sultan's palace, which is the building, not this white one, but this gray one that kind of looks like it's under construction behind the white one. That's where the Sultan lived and was based until Zanzibar's last Sultan fled first by sea during Revolution Day and ended up in the UK. I've discussed that history at length in prior videos here from Zanzibar, but it's a very, and then you've got the House of Wonder.
Yep.
You want to explain what that is? Am I putting you on the spot?
You know what? I'm not very historical about that. I'm not gonna lie. Just know the old fort, which now has been reconstructed. All right, that is House of Wonder, right?
Yeah, the House of Wonder is really undergoing some major refurbishment. It had some architectural failure. I don't remember when it was, a couple years ago or something. I'm forgetting my history. I think the House of Wonder was a secondary palace for the Sultan, but maybe I need to double check that. There are also some, what might be surprising to some of you, a couple historic churches here in Stonetown. Zanzibar is about 99% Muslim. What's the percentage? Is it 99.5% Muslim?
Yes, that's but now it's been changing because there's a lot of population from outside of Zanzibar, outside of Tanzania, so people coming in, so maybe percentage is getting squeezed. I don't know, but the native people of Zanzibar is like 99.5%. It's almost 100% people are Muslim because this island of Muslim, this island that was colonized by Arabs, and we got such a, I can say it's bad like impact that we got, but the impact that we got from Arab is this language. They spread the language, but also they were Muslim before as a native people at that time. I think Bantu people, they were around the island that's called Tumbatu, as you know, it's Tumbatu. So they were original people before the Arabs and these Indians and these Iranian people. Because people here, they basically don't have like a special tribe.
I'm gonna flip the camera around so there's slightly better audio. Keep going.
Yeah. Before that time, there were people who were Muslims, the original people of Zanzibar, which were Bantu people. And after, when Arab came, then they also spread this
Islam.
Islam religions and stuff like that. So people have been growing up being Muslims, and from generation to generations until now. So it's been like, it's almost all of people are Muslim. So I can say it's definitely 99.5% people are Muslim here, but it's decreasing because of the populations of people from outside who are not born here. But actually, anybody who is born here is a Muslim. That's why I can say people are Muslims.
But not 100%.
Not 100%.
Because we are staring at the Indian, it's an Indian temple, right? The one that's right here.
Yeah.
And then you've got the Catholic Church. Maybe you can see the Gothic looking spires, and there's a better sunset shot. So aside from the sunset, you've got this Catholic church built by a French architect, I forget his name, with the Gothic looking spires. And then when you shift over, also here you've got the port. There's a lot of historic scenery right here in Stonetown, which is quite small. The city, the larger city that Stonetown's part of, Zanzibar City, is larger, much larger. But maybe you can make it out that here we've got the Anglican Church, and this Anglican Church is situated right beside what was a large and important slave market, because Zanzibar, at least in this region, not just Zanzibar, right here in Stonetown, this was the location of one of the most prominent slave markets. I don't know if you want to get into this at all, but it's an important part of history, because the slave trade was a very big deal here in Zanzibar up until early in the 20th century, and the Anglican Church was quite involved in the abolition movement here, and their church stands to this day right beside the old slave chambers, and you can still go down into a few of the slave chambers. They have a I forget the name of it, but it's history of slavery museum here that I've been to, and I've done a video at that spot. It's quite interesting. And then on top of that, it's a little too far off in the distance to show you that Revolution Tower. I forget the name of the tower, but there's a tower in Zanzibar City. You want to explain the difference between Stonetown and Zanzibar City, or do you even consider there to be a difference? Maybe I should have started with that question.
I can say Stonetown is, when you speak about Stonetown, you speak about the history of Zanzibar itself, because Stonetown means a local town that this has been built for a long time ago. It's like since 18th, like what 18th, right?
18th century?
Yeah. No. I mean the
wait.
18th, like 1886.
No,
not 19.
long before that, because the
Yeah.
Portuguese arrived around 1500, I thought. Oh God, I've done so many videos on Zanzibar history. Okay, the Portuguese arrived and colonized Zanzibar. They were followed by the Arabs, and Zanzibar was part of Oman. Zanzibar was a sultanate of Oman. If my memory serves me correctly, the Portuguese ruled for a couple hundred years, from about 1500 to 1700, and then the Arabs ruled for another couple hundred years, from about 1700 to 1900, if my memory serves me correctly, and then it became a British protectorate, but it's still at a sultan. Sorry to cut you off. And please audience, fact check me, correct me if I got any of that wrong. And this is Africa. We'll get to your comment in a minute. Everyone who chimes in with comments, we'll get to them. I just don't want to cut off Shaha more than I've already done.
Yep. I just say that you talked about the part of Oman. It wasn't only Zanzibar. It was also, if you know Kenya, there is a city called Mombasa. That was also part of Zanzibar. So Mombasa with Zanzibar was part of Oman at that time. That's why there are a lot of people who moved from here to Mombasa, and now they live there. And it's kind of relative people that they live here, and also in Mombasa, Kenya. A lot of people from Mombasa, Kenya, they relate to people from here, because it was a part of Oman at that time. and that's why when you go to Mombasa, it looks kind of similar like Stone Town.
There are a lot of similarities, and
Yeah.
I've stayed in the Mombasa city center, and I would say, particularly, because Mombasa is really spread out, and it's much. The city of Mombasa as a whole is way larger than Stone Town, but even way larger than Zanzibar City. But yeah, the historical center of Mombasa does remind me quite a bit of Stone Town, albeit Stone Town is so much more compact, and Stone Town's famous for its narrow, winding streets. Shah's taking sunset photos. We got a nice sunset now. What do you know? Beautiful sunset over the House of Wonder. Where were we before I cut you off a while back? You were talking a little bit about history and Arabs.
You mean about Mombasa, right?
I meant before that. But okay, on that note, when I was in Mombasa, it was probably the only. I haven't been everywhere in East Africa, but it was probably the only place I went in East Africa other than Zanzibar that really had a distinct, what I would call Swahili feel.
Yeah.
And maybe that ties into the history, because you're saying not only did the Arabs bring Islam, but
Oh yeah.
what
Yeah, I forgot about that.
what is the essence of Swahili?
Swahili is a language which contains a Bantu language with a lot of Arabic words, and that's how we got this Swahili. At the first time, as I told you before, there were people like origin people before Arabs came, who are called Bantu people, and bunch of people from all around Africa. And when Arab came, they came with a word, because they called this name was named by Arabs, and this Swahili means sea. I think sea, yeah, sea. So these East Coast nations like Zanzibar, Kenya, there is an island is called Lam, who also people speak Swahili, and as Zanzibarians speak Swahili as people from Mombasa, Kenya, and the islands of Kenya's like Lamus and stuff like that. So the impact also that we get and we are really proud of is this Swahili, because Zanzibar is being known that it's a place that people that speak Swahili fluently. Is where there is this grammar of Swahili and everything. I don't mean that people of Tanzania they don't speak Swahili like correctly or
You mean
grammatically.
mainland?
Yeah, mainland. I mean, yes, Tanzania or Kenya, but this East Coast place is where people they speak fluent Swahili. Which
East Coast or West Coast?
this is East Coast.
No, we're on the West Coast.
Oh right, sure.
So
Sorry,
which
West
is
Coast.
it?
East Coast of dance. I mean, it's East Coast of this is East Coast.
No,
of
we're on
Africa.
we're on the East Coast of Africa.
Yes,
No,
of
we're not.
Africa.
We're off the East Coast of Africa.
Yes.
But we're on the West Coast of the island.
Yeah, oh yes, I
So
understand it.
who are you saying speaks such pure Swahili?
When I say East Coast, I mean these islands, Kenya's islands called Lam. Do you know Lam?
I haven't been there.
Yeah, and Zanzibar Islands, also Komodo Islands. Oh yeah,
Comoros. That's
Komodo. Yeah,
way out, but okay.
yeah, I understand. Yeah, it's way out, but Arabs who are at those places and started spreading Swahili and Muslims.
So
So
the Indian Ocean, you're saying the Indian Ocean destinations
yes,
of
yeah,
some parts of East Africa is
yes,
where you find
yeah,
pure
yeah,
Swahili.
yes, pure Swahili, and it's not like pure Swahili, but also it's pure environment of Swahili and Arabs, as you can see here. Stone Town look it definitely looks like Oman, or I mean not Oman of now, maybe at that time, because a lot of buildings of here are kind of looking like Oman's building at that time, because people from Arab built a lot of stuff here before before these Portuguese people and British people came.
Well, no, the Portuguese came before the Arabs.
Really?
I'll, I'll stand on that. That's a hill I'm willing to die on. I say that a bit facetiously. Okay, regardless of getting all the historical dates correctly, let's hit up This is Africa's comments before we continue on with this discussion. And I want to talk about we have greetings from Brazil. Sorry, I'm gonna butcher your name, but Jonas Maximo, is it? Thank you very much for tuning in. Obrigado. Cyberbry's son just came up here. Yeah, at this time of year, there's an 8-hour difference between us and the East Coast, not of Africa, but of the US, and an 11-hour difference between us and the West Coast of the US. During daylight savings time, it's 7 and 10-hour differences. But okay, I promised we'd get back to the comments. This is Africa. Good to see you back in Africa. Glad to know Go Black to Africa was deported the other day. Like he shouldn't be. Do you know what happened to Go Black to Africa?
I don't know what happened to him.
I know who Go Black to Africa is because I met him briefly. I ate dinner next to him at Cape Town Fish Market in Dar, and I'm pretty sure he's got a huge following. I know you.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
you.
I know him.
You want to do a Go Black to Africa?
Go Black to Africa.
I don't know if that's quite how he does it. Okay, I don't know where. I haven't kept pace with him lately, so I don't know where he was. I don't know where he
went to Ghana, I think. He's been all around.
I don't know from where he got deported, if that actually happened. And I don't have a bone to pick with the guy. I said in a previous live stream in Istanbul that I coincidentally met him and said hi to him. Not much more. I said I watched his channel, and he was very cordial for a few minutes, and we just were eating dinner at tables next to each other at Cape Town Fish Market. But coincidentally, the next day he did some video bashing a Mzungu live streamer who was here in Tanzania, not live streamer, YouTuber who was here in Tanzania, who at the time was just getting started, but now I think he's got a huge channel. And so some people were asking whether Go Black to Africa was trashing me, and no, he wasn't trashing me. He briefly referenced me in that video, saying that he saw me at dinner. Oh, he didn't even know my name. That was a bit of a tangent. Let's get into some of the. People were taking photos of the sunset here. The sunset was nicer a few minutes ago. That's pretty nice. I was gonna say, let's get into some stuff that's happening in present day Zanzibar and maybe Tanzania as a whole. This was a big week for the country as a whole. I don't know to what extent Zanzibaris celebrated it and viewed it as a very big day. You tell me. You want to explain what happened this week?
That was earlier this week, right?
Independence Day.
Independence Day. Yes, it was Independence Day on 9th of December. That was Independence Day for Tanzania. It's been 60 years for our independence, so we are happy to complete all of these years. It's been a long time since we are free, and we've got Independence Day, and we celebrated. It's not in Zanzibar that was the people didn't celebrate here, because the huge celebration was in Tanzania mainland. This is just an island, but people contribute and post, but it didn't look like a lot of people here were kind of like contributing and seem happy or doing some of celebration stuff. No, in Tanzania mainland there was a huge huge celebration, huge crowd. People were there at the Mkapa Stadium. There were different honorable people like President of Mozambique, President of Rwanda. That was President of Rwanda.
Paul Kagame is the president of Rwanda. Was
Paul
he there?
Kagame, yeah, Paul Kagame was there. The president of Mozambique was there. The president of Kenya, Uhuru Kenyatta, was there. The president of the Tanzania itself was there. So there were a lot of presidents from East Africa who were there for the huge moment that we had previous days as a day of our independence. So we're happy to be such amazing history that we made. Yeah. But in Zanzibar itself, it didn't look like people. It wasn't so crowded. People. It was like this. It was like the same day, because at that time when Tanzania got independence, Zanzibar was Zanzibar by itself. Zanzibar at that time it was under control by Arabs at that time. So a few years later, then Zanzibar got independence. They didn't get independence. They revoluted, right? They did revolution. So we are going to be celebrating as Zanzibarians people for what we did back in the days. It's gonna be I think 57 years for Revolution's Day. In January, January 12th, we're going to be celebrating our big moments in Zanzibar, as well as Tanzania generally did the previous days. Yeah.
Okay, based on what I'm seeing in the chat, it looks like I died on that hill. I'll get back to that history. Thank you for fact checking me. There's quite a bit to unpack here. Would you mind grabbing that charger? So I've done a couple live streams in the past on Revolution Day. Tried to do a live stream, I should say last year, tried to do a live stream on Revolution Day. You were there.
Yep.
That didn't go very well.
Yeah.
The connection was a big problem. The
Yes.
connection is much better right here. However, I've been there for 2 Zanzibar Revolution Day celebrations, not too far away from here, over in Zanzibar City, just outside of the old town. And those are huge celebrations, and people are very, very, I would say, passionate about their and excited.
We are so
And-
excited. Yeah.
And you may take issue with me characterizing it this way, but I know that from a third-party perspective, and for some, if not much of the global audience, people question how could you get so excited about an event that to a lot of people was very tragic. There were many Arabs who died under very troubling circumstances. And I don't even know if we should be going into this, because I wanted to discuss Tanzanian Independence Day and why it wasn't such a big deal here in Zanzibar, but it was a big deal on the mainland, which you already addressed.
Yeah.
And let me know if I'm summing it up appropriately, that independence here was not achieved when it was declared on the mainland. It was achieved when the revolution, and it really was a revolution. It was bloody when that was carried out here. 1964, right?
Yeah, 1964. That year that we got our, that was at that time it was country before unite, before Tanganyika and Zanzibar united as Tanzania. At that time, we did revolution against Arab people, and we got our free country at Zanzibar. Zanzibar at that time was a country, and then a few years later it was united with Tanganyika, so that we get this word Tanzania. Yeah, so it wasn't such a big deal here, because when Tanzania at that time was Tanganyika, was when Tanganyika got their independence. Here it was still under control by Arabs, so that's why people were not were not very passionate, and were not very crowded and keep celebrating about the Independence Day of Tanzania at that time, because at that time it was Tanganyika. It was 1961, which now it's been like 60 years of independence of Tanzania. And at Zanzibar itself, that was a country at that time. It was still under control by Arabs. And a few years, like 3 years later, 1964, then people did revolution and finally got their country free. At that time, was 14 people, one group. And the leader was, before he became a president, was Abedi Amani Karume, which is the first president of Zanzibar. It's that guy who did revolution with a group of 14 people.
But wasn't Okolo
Okello?
Okay, excuse me, John Okello, the guy from Uganda, wasn't he the commander, the physical leader of the revolution?
Yeah, Okello was a physical leader, but the one who built this group of 14 people was Amani Bedi Karume, who became president in a few moments, right? Okello was a commander in the physical army by himself. He did a great job. I might say that, that's why we are free now. We got our revolution. I don't mean like it's bad, but it was a revolution. People were tired, being under control by Arabs. So then they had to do that, because they've been telling to be free, but then they didn't get the freedom. So they had to do that back in the days. Yeah, and that time is gonna be in the next year, which January 12. We're gonna be celebrating 57 years of revolution for Zanzibar.
And I presume I'll be there again this year. I definitely expect to be in Zanzibar at that time. As I explained in the last broadcast, I'm based here now, at least for what's the summer here and the winter up north. And you and I have got multiple business ventures that will keep me very busy here, but we can talk about that another time. I was a little. By the way, hello to everyone who's tuning in. Hello, Tom Jode, Zdrasti. What's up? Johnny B says, Josh, get around the world. How's he do it? I can talk about that later. So what I was going to say is that maybe most people here in Zanzibar weren't so excited about the events happening on the mainland, but being who I am and what I like to do, I was a little bummed that I didn't make it over to Dar, because any event that draws Uhuru Kenyatta, Paul Kagame, among others, and a whole lot of fanfare over at Mkapa Stadium, that would have been something that I would have liked to live stream or at the very least witness. So, mea culpa. Sorry I didn't make it over there. Maybe more sorry to myself than to you guys. And the timing of that is a little interesting, because I was at Mkapa Stadium back in March for what was a moment of extreme tragedy here in Zanzibar. In fact, you and I, what's that siren for?
That's ship. The horn of ship.
Spoken like a true island boy.
Yeah. Island boy for real.
Shaha likes to joke about that. Can you guys hear it? Can you guys hear us over the horn? Anyway, where were we? I'll explain it later. Where were we? Oh yeah, so John Pombe Magufuli, the former president of Tanzania, the late president of Tanzania, died earlier this year. And speaking of me being here and how I ended up here, I started coming here three years ago. After this winter or southern summer, I will have spent thank you, Renee, I'm glad the audio is perfect. If I complete another southern summer, northern winter here, then it will be 3 out of 4 years that I spend that time of year in Tanzania, and most of it's been spent here in Zanzibar. But something big that's kept luring me back has been how open not just Zanzibar, Tanzania as a whole has been during COVID, except for a very brief lockdown back last spring of 2020, which you actually explained in a live stream that we did on the beach in John Biani 1 year ago.
Yeah, I understand. It's been 1 year now, right?
It's been 1 year since then.
What?
It's been a busy
that
year.
Was so quick.
So quick.
So quick.
It's probably been the busiest year of your life. But what I was gonna say is that Magufuli, the late president of Tanzania, was instrumental in Tanzania being so open during almost all of the pandemic. And he died a bit of a mysterious death, which I've talked about quite a bit in a stream that I did with Romika Annabelle in Istanbul earlier this year. It would have been interesting for you to have been part of that stream.
Yeah.
But it's also a difficult matter to discuss in this country particularly, and I don't know if now is the right time, and I don't know if you even want to get into it, period, other than maybe just sharing a couple thoughts on Magufuli. If you even want to. If you don't want to, no problem. We just move on from it.
You want me to talk about his days or what? His days?
Whatever you want to talk about.
I don't just want to talk about his days.
You don't need to talk about his death.
Yeah. He was such a nice leader. Not only in Tanzania, he was a very humble person. He was a very responsible person, and he was a very strong person. He got a strong mind and strong decisions, actually. So he was a hero of Africa generally, and everybody knows that, he's been known as a president who didn't shut the country for coronavirus and stuff like that. There was no any lockdown in Tanzania, so he's been known as a only president who made that stuff by all over the world. He was that president who says we're not going to believe in corona. We're not going to believe in this in this moment. All we want to do is to have a face, and everybody who's got their faces, they have to believe in God, pray for God, and move on their lives, and just to be protected by themselves. That's it.
Before we move on to his successor,
Yeah.
you mentioned how revered Magufuli was across Africa.
Yeah.
Is that because of his anti-lockdown stance and stance on corona
Yeah.
or COVID?
Yeah.
Or is that because of something entirely different, or is it some combination?
um, it's combination, and it's not because of corona. It was the way how he was, since he started running for president, and then he became a president eventually. He was a very strong person before the COVID, and he changed a lot of stuff. He changed a lot. He made Tanzania to he took Tanzania one step to another step, and that was very nice impact for Tanzania, because Tanzania went up for economy and at the central economic, and that also is because of him. So it wasn't just for coronavirus and stuff like that. He was critically doing his stuff and by himself, because he decided to help Tanzania, and he sees Tanzania as one of very wealth. It's not wealth country, but he imagines that this Tanzania is gonna be wealth country for the things that we have in Tanzania if we are going to be standing on this properly. So he was making sure that everything is going to be well, so that Tanzania is gonna get to it is gonna get where it deserves to be. Yeah, and eventually he took it from one place to another, which is real seen in everywhere. Tanzania was for the economic was a down economic, and then he took it to the central economic, which was real good sign for that. However, because of his decisions, there were some people, hating him, some people loving, but most of people of Tanzania loved him because of his uh, his humbleness and his strongness, and because also of how he was leading. It was such a nice um, leadership to me and to most of the Tanzanian people. However, people say that he was he was like the president of Russia, a dictator. Yeah, he was too good. He was too good. Not only because of COVID, he was too good because he made a lot of stuff, a lot of developments. He stopped a lot of corruptions. He makes sure that corruption is not existing anymore. So he made a big step. He made up. He really made things easy. But I'm not. I just don't want to talk about him more because I feel so sad. Because he was such a hero in Africa generally. Everybody knows that. There was no president like him. Everybody says that. He's done a lot of stuff. R.I.P. to him. All I just want to say.
We've talked quite a bit about Magufuli on the channel previously, although maybe we haven't really done the discussion justice, or maybe we haven't talked about him enough. He's just quite an interesting character and leader in many regards, but I'll just push back slightly or remark on one or two things. So the allegations or accusations about him being a dictator, I don't want to just throw around the word dictator very lightly, but there were definitely authoritarian aspects to his rule here in Tanzania. It wasn't the most politically free country, even during COVID, when things were so free, at least for the sense of people to move around and enjoy the liberties they once had in most of the world. There was an election here, and the opposition candidate was shot, not during the election, but years previously, shot quite a few times. And it wasn't the most politically competitive environment, but I wanted to segue that into one thing that I've been noticing about COVID. I don't know if it's going to be a legacy of COVID or not, but it's flipped the world upside down to the point where in quite a few places libertarians have become authoritarians and authoritarians have become libertarians. And I don't think the proper comparison to make would be Putin. I think it would actually be Lukashenko of Belarus. And I don't know if you even know who the president of Belarus is, but Alexander Lukashenko is known by many as the last dictator of Europe. And likewise, he had an election during COVID that, by the accounts of many people all around the world, was completely rigged and led to mass protests that were pretty violently suppressed, although they went on for a while. But what I have told you, actually I've told you about him, is that early on in COVID, Lukashenko said something along the lines of, well, just drink some vodka and go back to work. And maybe visit the steam bath or the sauna or something. So that's I saw quite a few parallels between Magufuli and Lukashenko during COVID. That's not to say that the two were all that similar in general, but to some extent, in my mind, COVID has flipped everything upside down and turned authoritarians into libertarians and libertarians into authoritarians. But okay, let's hit up the comments really quickly before moving on to Magufuli's successor and what's going on right now in the country as a whole and Zanzibar. Let's see, Cyber Bry says 2 or 3 other mysterious deaths. I presume you're referring to other presidents or world leaders who have died during the pandemic. I'm guessing that's what you're referring to. What else did we miss? I think I mentioned earlier that I guess I need to die on the hill of Arabs versus Portuguese and who colonized Zanzibar first. Obviously, I need to reread the history books, or maybe a synopsis of it on Wikipedia. I'll go back and do some research on that. But yes, I've done a prior video where I talked about slave trade going on here and Arab involvement in it going back centuries. There's the Tipu Tip House that's pretty close to here. I'll get back to more of the comments later. Let's get to Magufuli's successor, Mama Samia, who is interesting to discuss for a variety of reasons. One of which is that we're in Zanzibar, and she's from Zanzibar. I should say Samia Suluhu Hassan is her full name, but many Tanzanians refer to her as Mama Samia. And when people say Mama Samia, do they mean that in a fun way, a loving way? Do they mean it in a joking way?
No.
What is
It's
explain
because
Mama
of,
Samia?
It's because of the respect that you need to give to that person who deserves to be respected. She's 61. She's mom. You know, to me, to you, for young people who are 30 years old, 29, she's our mom. That's why we call Mama Samia. And it's not all because she's old or what. That's why we call her mom. No, because also the respect that we want to give to her and attention of calling her instead of President Samir. So people, always come with the wise word to call somebody for what they stand for. So she's a president. She's called Mama Samia. His name is Samia Suluhu Hassan.
Magufuli wasn't called Papa John. Papa John, go figure.
Magufuli was called as Ami or Jeshi or Mr. or Dr. Magufuli. It's because like if you want to give like high rank a leader, there is always a wise word or any name that you can call before the action name, right? Magufuli was being called Dr. Magufuli, Dr. John Pombe Magufuli, not just Magufuli directly, no.
Okay,
It's the same as Samia.
Slight tangent. Someone's asking if the vaccine is mandatory in Zanzibar. The answer is no. It's not.
No.
And Magufuli absolutely railed not only against lockdowns and COVID measures and restrictions, but he railed against the vaccine or vaccines. You wanna touch on what Magufuli said in his speeches shortly before he died as it relates to the vaccine, or do you not want to go there?
You can go for it.
Well, he was talking in Swahili.
Yeah, but you understood.
Magufuli was no fan, but as you said, or were beginning to say or alluding to, Magufuli did have a scientific background. He was a PhD in chemistry, right?
Yes.
By the way, I don't have a scientific background, and don't ask me for whether it's a good or bad idea to take in the vaccines, to reject the vaccines, or whatever. But you want to touch on what Magufuli said about vaccines and COVID stuff, or no?
I can say you can you can say about it. No.
Okay, you guys get the point. Let's get back to Mama Samia.
Alright.
So, who, by the way, is the first female president of Zanzibar? Excuse me, of Tanzania. Tanzania.
Not all it's Africa too.
All of East Africa?
No,
I guess.
it's Somalia. It's Africa, I guess. Yeah. It's Africa. I guess.
Anyhow, are Zanzibaris happy with Mama Samia?
Of course.
Or should I not go there?
You don't really have to go there, but of course,
Or maybe we should.
Everybody likes when the home person is getting successful or is getting where they deserve to be. Of course, Mama Samia is from Zanzibar, which is now is been known as a beautiful island of Africa. At that time, it was a country, but now it meant a lot when it was a country. But now it's an island of Tanzania. So she was born here, grew up here. You know, she started doing her politics stuff when she was here, and eventually she got over there. She was a vice president and became a president after Magufuli death. people are so proud of her because she's from here. Why not? Everybody is proud of her, you know. But always, as always, there will never be people, all the people that like you. Meanwhile, is some people they don't like her. I don't know why, but most people from Zanzibar like her, and I mean people who don't like her. They're not even from only Tanzania. I mean, maybe in Tanzania, mainland also. Not, I mean, not Zanzibar. I mean, Tanzania, mainland and stuff like that. I don't know, but she's been appreciated by a lot of people of Tanzania because she's been doing a lot of things now, and she always says like things need to continue. This is this is how she always says like the things let the job to be continuing. Let the job to be continuing, and she
The things
continues.
Magafuli was doing need to continue. Is that what she's implying?
Magufuli was saying that all we need to do is a walk. Let's do work. Let's do work. Of course, we don't have to be timid, so timid about coronavirus, about the stuff that can affect our minds. So think about it, protect yourself, and do work. You know, at that time, he was meaning that don't be stressed out with coronavirus so that you can never do your stuff or our stuff or anything that you want to do. Think about it, protect it, know the ways how to prevent it, and keep walking. And then after Magufuli died and Mama Samia became a president, and she said this idea. She said like the work need to be continuing, which means instead of keeping work and Magufuli die, it doesn't mean you need to stop. So the work just need to be going on. Like so, you still keep going continuously. Don't stop because Magufuli died. So she's always saying like that, you know, and she's been encouraging a lot of people, and which is nice things. She was, I think I saw on a Wikipedia this the best 100 female in the world. She was there, female Mama Samia, 2021. Best females of the year. She was there also. 100 females in this year. So she's doing good. She's doing a lot of work. She really means the work need to be going on. The work need to be done continuously. We don't need to get back because of the of our. I can say that was a hero of Africa, not only Tanzania, but it's God's plan. It's God's plan. Yeah.
I mean, Magafuli's death was God's plan. That's
Yeah.
what you're saying.
Yeah, it's always God's plan. Even if there are a couple stuff going on, you know, you never know. But all of those stuff happened because of the God. If God didn't let, what I believe, if God didn't let things happen to him, then he would be alive. You know. In fact, of people might have been doing some stuff, or he just died by himself. But it's always God's plan. So now the job is getting on. People still keep working and working more and more, and so we get to be encouraged by her by saying that the work need to be going on continuously.
Really quickly, someone's asking your name. You want me to say your name, or you want to say your name?
My name is Island Boy.
You can say whatever you want.
My name is Island Boy. Of course, I'm a typical Island Boy, as you can see here. You know, I look like island person, so that my name is Island Boy for real.
Shaha. Shaha. Shaha over here has got a sense of humor, and he's been holding back for the past 59 minutes and 25 seconds because I think he senses that since we're on my YouTube channel rather than Facebook or Instagram or just walking around joking around, that it's a bit more serious. And yeah, I have a bit more serious of a tone on the YouTube channel than some other places on social media or just.
Actually, my name is Shaha, right? Yeah, it's Shaha. The Shaha, this Shaha name has very historic stuff. My name, I was named after the guy was born next to my village, which is called Paje, and the Shah names it was king of Iran at that time, so that's why. Because I'm my birth certificate saying that I'm a Shiraz person, and Shiraz, of course, is Persian people from Iran. So
So
my
Shaha and Shah are the
Shah,
same thing?
yeah, Shah, yeah, it's just because of the accent and language. But
So
Shah,
you're a Shah.
yeah, I'm Shah. Yeah,
Like
a lot of people they call me Shah.
like you're an Iranian style ruler.
Yes, yes.
I'm
Shah,
glad to know.
Shah
I'm
was,
glad to know such a powerful person.
yeah, Shah was the king of Iran, and of course, I'm Shiraz. It might be I was named because I'm Shiraz, and also Shiraz is a tribe from Iran, and Iran where the king was called who was called the Shah, and that's my name. My name is Shah. Yeah, you can call me Shah or Shah.
Shah has been on this channel a couple times before, a year ago when I was in Zanzibar, but as I've alluded to, Shaha and I are building a house over on the other side of the island, Jambiani. Jambiani's the village you're from on the east coast of the island, and we're also we're as Shaha was mentioned earlier, we're working on a couple All right, now you feel a little more comfortable and you're cracking more jokes.
They see me because it's getting dark here, and of course you know, my name is Shah, but it's not like I'm from Iran. I'm from Africa. So do y'all feel me and see me also? It's getting dark out here.
Well, let's see what they say. Someone before said it was getting dark, but no one said anything remotely close to "I don't see you."
Hey, I know I'm not accusing myself. I'm just saying, if they see me.
And I was just saying that Shaha generally likes to have fun and crack some more jokes, and I set a very serious tone for this, and we're talking about matters like Magafuli's death, COVID, politics, all that stuff. But we'll probably
Thank you.
We'll probably be doing some lighter stuff over the coming weeks and months, if not on this channel, then elsewhere. But probably on this channel, because we're gonna have to promote what we're doing.
Yeah, we will have to, and we are going to do that, inshallah. We are going to promote all of the things that we've been doing here around Zanzibar, especially in Jambiani village. That you can find a very beautiful beach over there. It's fine. Please seeing you, boss. Oh, thank you. Johnny B seeing me.
I don't know. I don't know if Johnny B was insinuating that he can physically actually see you, or if he's just saying it's cool to be hanging out with us on this stream. So if you want to hit up Johnny B and ask him for clarification, you can, but we can also move on.
John, are you will see me or just see my teeth? I want to know that. But hopefully you see me.
You
right?
got any Mzungu jokes?
No.
You want to explain what a Mzungu is?
Mzungu is white people.
I'm a Mzungu.
Yeah, he's a Mzungu. We call him Mzungu because he's a white person. All right. And
what's do you know what etymology is?
No.
So you're explaining etymology is like the root of the word, how the word gets its how the word gets its meaning.
Spice Peach sees me. Thank you.
So what? How does Mzungu get its meaning?
But Josh is really, really bright.
I know Tom Joad. That might be a play on words. If it isn't, then oh well. If it is, I'll take it as a compliment.
Maybe I gotta show the hands because this is the only part that you can see me. All right.
What's the meaning of the word Mzungu?
Oh, the word Muzungu is mean white person.
Where does it get its meaning?
It's a actually is a white person or European because when you are in Africa, we only know that Europeans Muzungu are white, all are white. So, but of course they are black Europeans, black Americans. But as long as you're white, you are called Mzungu in Africa. That what is white person. It's not like disrespecting you. It's just the names that we actually say by ourselves. We represent you as our language. If we see a white person or whoever who is white, might be European or American, but whatever. But only we know that European are white, and that's why we call them Wazungu. Or if Muzungu is one, Josh is actually a Jewish white person, so we can call him Muzungu as long as he is.
But almost no one picks up on me being Jewish here, which is a question I've gotten in YouTube comments before. On the YouTube broadcast, on the live stream, 100% people basically know I'm Jewish.
Yeah.
But walking around the world in person, it's often not like that. I actually wanted to talk about Mzungus,
Yeah,
not in the sense of the color of their skin, but related to tourism
yeah,
here in Zanzibar.
yeah.
I thought we might go off on a tangent about what the Maasai said on the beach, but maybe we shouldn't.
What? I would.
About okay, first is Mzungu a Bantu word? Where does it come
Yeah,
from
this is
originally?
Bantu word. This is Bantu word. Mzungu is a Bantu word since I think even South Africa is also there because it's a Bantu word. It's been known as all over Africa.
All over Africa or East Africa?
Not all over Africa because South Africa also they use this Mzungu.
Okay, now
Especially is East Africa, but a lot of places in Africa they speak Swahili. They have this Bantu language, stuff like that. They also say Mzungu words, which means white person. There is a name, but I don't want to tell now that we call people. I just want to talk about you.
okay, tell her.
No,
Now
I
you
don't
have to
wanna-
say
I-
it.
I
You
don't-
can't
I-
hint at it and
I
not
don't-
say
I don't,
it.
I don't want to say that. I don't want to say that.
Say it.
I'm
It's
not
not a
gonna say it.
politically correct broadcast.
It's not, but it's not good. It's disrespect. I feel like that.
Okay, chat. Should Shah say it
I'm
or
not
should,
gonna
or should
say
he
it.
not
I'm
say
not
it?
gonna say. I just
And-
don't want to seem stupid and don't want to seem like crazy or racist or stuff like that. But it's a word that they at that back in the days, our parents or older parents, or because of this slave stuff, and they were using these names, and now you can definitely you can't hear and they don't say, but some of people when once they're angry against it, then they can say, but
Does it mean slave owner?
it's not slave owner, but it's kind of there. It's kind of that way, but it's not really. It's not real meaning that it's slave owner, but it's kind of go that way.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah,
Right now there are many Mzungus on the island.
a lot of them,
A lot.
a lot, which is really nice to us because they get to invest in. A lot of people, as they are poor people, they get to be hired. Some of them they get to work with them. A lot of people they get to get partnership. They get to make things happen. As me and Josh, while we're trying to make it, it's all the sharing time, and this is what we see as the impact of them being here. Yeah. It's not all. I can talk. I can talk bad. I can talk good. I'm just talking the fact that we have right now. They are coming to here.
I don't-
Is a moment that we are really proud of because we feel like Zanzibar is such a nice thing. it's such a nice place. It's such nice things that people they are very interested to see and to work and also to even live and to invest more and more and more. So we are so proud of that. Yeah.
I don't mean to bring up the topic in the sense to say Mzungu good or Mzungu bad, but there's a huge wealth gap in terms of how much money people have between locals and tourists.
Yeah.
And it's been said many times over, maybe I shouldn't say it's been said, but a lot of people have made the argument that the money doesn't actually trickle down to the locals, and tourism just reinforces the divide of how much wealthier people from other countries, particularly Europe, are compared to here.
Yeah.
But you don't view it that way.
Yeah, I don't view that way.
What about Zanzibaris as a whole?
What you
What,
mean?
like, not speaking just for yourself, but
Yeah.
but trying to present the viewpoint of most locals on the island. What are their thoughts about
Basic-
tourism at a time when tourism has not just tourism? There's so many Mzungus are like myself, sort of. They're not just
Actually-
coming here; they're living here.
Actually, we have to understand that anything good there is at the second side there is bad in it. I mean, I personally think what I think is different for what somebody else thinks, right? Actually, tourism is such a nice thing. It's one of the best things that we depend on as Zanzibarians because it's an island. As island, there are a lot of people who work for tourism. There are a lot of things that are more attracted by tourists. That's why people they come here and see and chill, and also they get to see they get this access to see the attractive things and the historic places.
Jap Hofstay, I'm watching that. Says
You see, so-
you've got a beautiful oh, can clearly see you beautiful people piece.
Yeah.
That was a tangent.
Yes. So I can think that people that say tourism is good and it's good, but in the fact that there might be people talk about tourism badly, or it's bad, and I'm not gonna argue with that because they personally think what they think that they are right to say. That's why they keep saying that. As Zanzibar people, we told you that 99.5% Muslims, and there are some of this tourism kind of infect this culture and traditional stuff of Zanzibar. So everybody's getting is getting out of models and stuff like that. That's why and especially all the people who understand the culture and traditional, they've been saying at the other side of tourism is not good for the traditional stuff and the culture from now, and they think more about future generation because tourism, of course, tourists they come here and because they are not from here, they come here, they can wear whatever they want, but now there are rules, but they can wear whatever they want at the beach. Children, they can see them with the pants and only bra, so which is not really nice for our culture, you know. So then a child grows up like that, and then a child gets to lose the culture stuff and the culture mind, traditional mind, and also kind of mental growth is getting different compared to how it was before. That's why some of people they say tourism is good, but also is bad for that, and especially all the people who know value of tradition and how to maintain a culture. Yeah.
I wanted to ask you how tourism is changing here during COVID, and I think you already touched on one example of that. Correct me if I'm wrong. It seemed like last high season, so last December through this February, December 2020 through, let's say, March 2021,
Yeah.
it seemed like there were changing demographics in the tourists.
Yes.
There were more Russians, more Eastern Europeans coming,
Korea, yes.
and
Polish,
previously
Russians.
previously it used to be more Western Europeans, right?
For real.
Italians,
Italians.
French. And
Yeah.
now, I don't mean to pick on any particular nationality or Eastern Europe as a whole. I love Eastern Europe. Used to live there and spent the vast majority of 4 or 5 years there. But it seemed like there was quite a clash between, I should say, cultural clash between some Russians and Eastern Europeans and locals.
Yeah.
And the issue of women walking around in bikinis
Yeah.
in Stone Town, for instance, or just anywhere not on the beach,
Yeah.
seemed to be a focal point of that clash.
Yes. Exactly.
Okay. All right. So how is I think you already expanded upon that, talking about how kids are growing up here and they're being exposed to that and
Yeah.
Western morals, etc.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask you in general, how is tourism changing during COVID? I came here before COVID, and now I've been here quite a bit during COVID.
Yes.
To me, I see changes in trends, but I'd like to hear that from you first. Does it seem
Actually,
like tourism is changing during COVID?
tourism is changing during COVID, not only in Zanzibar. I think this is all over the world because of COVID. Of course, tourism has changed a lot. Not only Zanzibar, but in Zanzibar, it's different compared to Brazil or some of the attractive areas where most of tourists like to go and travel to. Zanzibar has changed, but not as much as other places because of the government and how they handle this coronavirus and stuff like that. Yeah. So now it's kind of getting better, and people, tourists, they got that mindset that we are tired of COVID, and that is place that we wanna head into. That's the place that we wanna leave. That place we wanna invest to, stuff like that. So tourism now, they people from Europe, people from America, they've known that Corona doesn't stop them to come here in Zanzibar because it's such a nice place, and they see that it's a nice place to live, to invest, to make, to be working as a nomad, digital nomad, stuff like that. So and at the previous time, the tourists who were coming here, they were coming for long stay. I mean, a lot of them are these digital nomad, like my friend beside here, Josh.
You talking about me?
Yeah, I'm talking about you, Josh.
Looks like part of my face is Mzungu and part of my face is cappuccino.
Yes. In previous days, people, tourists who were coming here, they were looking for long stay.
No,
So,
you mean now they are. Previously they weren't.
now, yeah. Previous month.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Previous month. Yeah. Don't forget, we're still 2021. I mean,
Oh, well, you're not that old.
yeah. All right. So
I'm talking
previous month.
previously, like years in the past.
Yeah. Previous month. People they stay here for a long time. now they those people who aim to stay here for working on their computer stuff like that, those people now they saw opportunities and stuff. So now they invested, and now they think to invest and to still keep working and staying more and more and more and more. So now we've got a lot of investors who are before they were digital nomads who travel all over the world and who decided to stay in Zanzibar for a long time. And after they saw the opportunity stuff to make money here to real share time, and then they started doing investment right now. We have a lot of investors who came as a digital nomad.
I, to some extent, you're describing me. I,
Not only you.
I
mean,
understand. I think you're overplaying a little bit what percentage of these people coming here and investing were digital nomads or ever were digital nomads or are digital nomads.
I mean, not all of them, but most of them.
Zanzibar has become renowned within. Sure. Come teach English.
Come for real. That's gonna be a massive deal for you and massive impact for us, because I had very tough moment to learn English. Of course we learn English in the school, but you can finish high school without speaking any words for English, because English is just English. You just know A B C D and Y. So after I finished my high school 2 years ago, then I started learning English. There was a community center, so there were volunteers coming from all around the world and teach us. But now it's been quitted since COVID started. So now where I stay in a village, there is no place people they make this. There's no any central or any places they teach English. It stopped. But fortunately, I graduated. I took my English lesson for 1 year, which was hard work for me, because it took me 1 year to do that. That was 2 years ago. 2 years ago. Yeah. So if you come and decide to be an English teacher, you're going to make massive impact, and it depends how you wanna promote it.
Like who would be the clients? Would it be people trying to just be able to speak basic English, or people trying to learn business English, or people trying to learn English better so they can communicate better with tourists or pass some tests to get into college?
All of the ways, they can be taught English for just translate. They can be taught English for having nice business with the tourism, and also for all of the ways that it's supposed to be spoken by English. They can learn and they can understand people, of course. So if there is anyone who needs to do the things, you're very welcome, and I think this is good opportunity for you to do, because at my village where I was born and where I went for studying, it was called African Impact Community Center, which now there is no that because of COVID, but now everything is getting well. So you can come and do that as NGO and trying to get volunteers from all around the world and teach and make massive impacts for us and for you also as well.
Your English Learning Center got shut down because of COVID?
Yeah,
What?
yes.
Wait, what?
Yeah, but I graduated.
Okay, but I thought stuff is open here.
No, it's not open in Jambiani. It's not open anymore because of COVID. Tourism volunteers have never showed up since COVID started.
Oh, you mean, okay, your English Learning Center, however you refer to it,
Yeah.
it was staffed by foreigners.
Yes.
And
yeah.
those foreigners left.
He left.
And other foreigners came in, and the foreigners all right, I'm really generalizing right now, but the foreigners who came in, they're more interested in doing business, investing, building houses, building period, than they are in
Yeah.
teaching English. Okay, so
No,
Tom, all right, I don't want to speak for you. You tell me.
there are much more, there are much more opportunities, not only investing, the education also. If you it depends on somebody
It's raining
focus.
again.
Yeah, it's kind of rain. It depends on somebody focus, because once you see opportunity, oh, here there is a low education, what I need. Yeah, you need to think and to create things that you're gonna make a good education. That's business, that's this opportunity. So then you can recreate some stuff and make everything different here. So it's not all about investing and build a house and stuff. There are a lot of opportunities that you can do here.
Can you name a couple?
I mean, let's say educations, um, agriculture if you're good, and this NGO stuff. Yeah, much. It depends. If person comes here, then they can see the real situation of here. Then if the mind is working well, they can understand what the opportunity.
I see a lot of opportunity here. That's I would say one of the big things that keeps drawing me back. And yes, Shah and I are launching a couple business ventures and building a house. But we'll talk about that more in future episodes. But what I wanted to say with regard to opportunity is that I don't know to what extent I've communicated this on YouTube, but I've communicated in person a lot.
Yeah.
And I've communicated a bit on other social media platforms.
Yeah.
For several years, I've seen huge, and I continue to see huge opportunity in Dar es Salaam. It's no longer the political capital of Tanzania, but it's still the financial capital and the biggest city. Yet I find myself in a situation where I'm spending increasing time in Zanzibar, decreasing time percentage-wise within Tanzania in Dar, and I'm investing here, maybe because of you talking me into it, maybe not, and not in Dar. And my quick comment on that would be that I find there to be a much, I don't want to just say welcoming, much more welcoming culture here in Zanzibar than Dar, but it seems like the culture is easier to penetrate as a foreigner, if that makes any sense. People like you lure me in, draw me into Zanzibar, and I find that less so in Dar, even though I see so much opportunity in Dar. Question, is Zanzibar considered part of South Africa? I see it's off the coast on the island. Well, Zanzibar is not part of the country of South Africa. Tanzania is East Africa, but to some extent it's also considered Southern Africa. I don't know if you want to explain.
Right. I think, yeah, it is. South Africa's down there. It's not far away from here.
Yeah, but Africa's huge.
It's huge, but it might be. It's not very, very far away from Tanzania to South Africa, because there are boundaries. There are boundaries and borders that you can get to South Africa.
Or you could fly.
Or
Now life is difficult because of this new COVID variant.
But
I think there's either going to be people pouring in for South Africa, or they're just going to be stuck there. I don't know which it's going to be, but people love to escape to Zanzibar. Okay, agnostic. I think you're mixing up Zanzibar with somewhere else. Zanzibar is not part of South Africa. Afrikaans. That's
Afrikaans.
the
Dutch?
Mzungu language. Yeah, the Mzungu language in
we don't speak.
South Africa. No,
Not only in South Africa. Not only in South Africa.
do Mzungus have their own language in Zanzibar?
They have only English. They speak
joking.
English. Maybe they can have Germany, as long where they're from. They can speak wherever their mother tongue is allowed them to speak.
I
But
hear.
in Zanzibar,
Oh, go for it.
in Zanzibar, people they speak their Swahili, which is our language and Arabs, and also we've got bunch of accents. No, not accent. I mean the
Dialects.
dialect. Depends which village you are from.
Let's go under this covering. It's raining again. I don't know why it's so rainy today. It wasn't rainy earlier in the broadcast at sunset. By the way, if you missed, can you guys hear us over the music? Now we're a little closer to the music, but earlier in the broadcast, if you missed it, there was a very nice sunset. Interesting question. Do people in Tanzania use cryptocurrency?
That's very. The government here has thought about it, and it seems like it seems it's not real. They might be working on it, but we are not pretty sure about that. But they have thought about it. So generally, what do you think about that? Because you've been thinking about cryptocurrency, and that is such a nice question that you can reply as member of this source.
You're ducking the question. You're trying not to answer and pass it on to me. All right. There isn't so much clarity at the moment, but to clarify a little bit, both the national government on the mainland and the Zanzibari government are expressing interest in some extent of crypto adoption. There's a lot of talk about Tanzania creating its own, CBDC, central bank digital currency, which is a big buzzword nowadays, which would just be a digital version of the Tanzanian shilling. However, there's also talk and suspicion that some members of the government, be it national government or Zanzibari government, are interested in luring crypto investors or just hearing out crypto investors on what they might be interested in doing here or pitching here, or how they see crypto potentially growing here. I'm cautiously optimistic that crypto will catch on here, and I think Zanzibar would be a great place for it to catch on, and I think we're going to do our part. If you come stay at the guest house, will be opening soon, or another property will be opening soon, you can pay us in cryptocurrency. And if you're interested, you can message, you can DM, comment below, whatever, email me, and we'll be in touch.
Yes, of course.
We need to wrap. We need to wrap this broadcast up shortly for a couple reasons. I'm gonna have to get back to work, and it's raining. But we could go. We could stand. No, is there somewhere to stand there? I don't know. I'm very pleasantly surprised, although not entirely surprised, about the connection. Some of you may have noticed that the last stream I did a week ago, which was on the other side of the island and not at a rooftop bar, did not go very smoothly. There were major connection problems, but it seems as though there haven't been this time. And I'm cautiously optimistic that the internet is going to improve and make major strides across the island. But for the time being, there do remain a lot of connectivity issues in Zanzibar. How's the weather here and temperature?
Now?
Someone's asking. In general, I guess. Or
weather?
now, and whenever. It's raining right now, which I'm surprised by, and this isn't so pleasant. We went under a covering, and the wind's blowing the rain right into us. Okay, now there's better lighting. Go for it.
The weather here in Zanzibar is so warm, very warm. The most of the time, within a year, summertime. 9 months we got summertime, and the 3 months so we got this season of rain. But you can get the rain in between. But most of the summertime is 9 months and 3 months for the rain season.
If you can hear us over the music, I'm guessing someone might be asking, did you really just say 9-month summer?
Yeah. Yes.
I can attest to that. Summer here is basically nine
Always.
9 months,
Yeah.
and there's a rainy season. April, May-ish, could start in March, could go into June.
Sometimes
That's
you know,
rainy
sometimes it
season.
can only take 1 month, and rain is not like some. It used to be heavy rain, but nowadays maybe in the rain season, one day it can be raining, other day stop, another day is like that. So it's almost summer here. Every day people complain about the sun, which is nice thing for people from Europe or America. They really want summertime. Yeah. So sometimes you can be tired of summer here, but we're proud of it because it's such a nice thing. People get to work. People get to do their work and
Can you guys please leave your final comments and questions? And I'm going to skim back through the chat to see stuff I missed. I remember a while back someone was asking me about how I travel. It's complicated during COVID. It didn't used to be complicated. Now it's a bit more complicated, but I can get into that more in future broadcasts or on other platforms. Wow, there actually were plenty of comments today. Let's see. Any final comments or questions?
do you have my phone?
No. Let's secure that. Uh-oh. I've got the power bank. I don't have... Rich M, you keep talking about South Africa. No, there's nothing South African here, with the exception of some tourists. And yes, there's a Cape Town fish market right around here. You don't remember what it is? All right, we secured Shaha's phone. There is a popular restaurant just down here called Cape Town Fish Market. They also have it in Dar es Salaam. Shah and I will do some broadcasts do some more broadcasts in the near future. And we'll be posting on Facebook and Instagram and elsewhere. I tend to do more of that when I'm in Zanzibar. And if you're interested in the business ventures, we can explain more about that in coming days and broadcasts. On Instagram, I'm at Nomad Journalist. What are you on Instagram? And I'll put your Instagram link in the description of the video after we finish.
It's Shah Simai Shehe or the triple S because Shah Simai Shehe, so the triple S.
But what is your Instagram
Shah
name?
Simai Shehe.
Shaha Simai Shehe. All right, and I'll put that link. I'll put that link in the.
Or the triple S also. They can write triple S and they can pop up there also.
I don't think it's gonna pop up for people who aren't connected with you. But what do I know? I'm no Instagram genius. So
you're not Mark Zuckerberg?
Johnny B is asking, easy to get a visa. It's very easy to get a tourist visa if you're coming from a Western country. And even for people coming from more exotic countries, it's not all that difficult to get a tourist visa. And there are various ways you can extend your stay if you so choose. And yeah, we'll talk a lot more about our guest house that we're opening and the other project or other projects. And you got any final? I'm saying we'll talk more about that in coming episodes or broadcasts.
If you guys have any questions or final questions that you need to ask me, you can always ask before we.
Are you saying your
DMs
are now?
Yeah, they need to DM me.
If they need to DM you,
if they need to
are
DM,
your DMs open?
Yes, they can reach me on all of social media. They can reach me on Facebook. They can reach me on Instagram. They can reach me on my email. Also, they can DM me any question.
Great. There you guys go.
Telegram, wherever. Any questions that you need to ask about Zanzibar, you can ask me. Any questions that you ask for what we've been talking about, you can ask. You can ask Josh, and we together, me and Josh.
Okay, we're right coming up on the 100-minute mark. I'm glad the stream lasted this long with limited, if any, interruptions. And thank you very much for everyone who tuned in. Thank you if you're watching the replay, likewise. And thanks for leaving comments and participating in the chat. And hopefully we'll come to you soon. Maybe we'll have to keep coming back to Stone Town, if nothing else, because the internet is better here than on the east coast of the island, or at least up on this rooftop where we are.
You're welcome, Tom George. You're welcome. You're very welcome.
But it's also a bit of our mission to improve the internet. We're not engineers. People call engineers fundis here. We're not fundis, but hopefully we can find some good fundis.
If you're a fundi, there is. Let me tell you something. There is very, very nice opportunity. If you can be able to make nice internet in Zanzibar, you're going to be a billionaire for real.
For real?
I'm not joking. Yeah. So if you have anyone who knows how to make good internet or Wi-Fi, fiber, stuff like that is gonna be a massive impact here. You're going to make a lot of things. You're going to make things easier in Zanzibar, especially for the people right now. They move from Europe. They want to live here. They want a good internet. They want a good Wi-Fi. They want a nice connection. So basically, that's their daily, so they need it. So if you are fundi or engineer, if you can be able to make this impact of having a good or superb connection, Wi-Fi or internet, you're going to make a billionaire for real.
I can't promise you a billion or billions, but yeah, if you can improve the internet here, then my DMs are open also.
It doesn't take 1 month to be a billionaire. It doesn't take 2 months. It takes years and years and years. But as long as you're going to make it for real, you're going to make something happen.
But the internet is slowly, or as people say here, pole. That means slow. No. I'm saying it's slowly improving. It's slowly improving. There's progress being made.
How much?
It's very cheap. I mean, if you mean for a data package, I'm not sure what you referred to, but internet's pretty cheap to consume here. Okay. Thanks to everyone who's part of this stream. We're wrapping it up now. Shaha's Instagram handle will be in the description after we finish, and you can DM him anywhere, apparently.
On my email, personally, Telegram, WhatsApp, Facebook. Basically, what I use for DM is WhatsApp, Telegram, and email.
I don't know if you want to give out your phone number, but
I can give. No,
it is what it is.
No, to be honest, I can give out my number as long as you need it. I can give it right away.
Okay, the people can ask for that after they DM you. Okay, asante sana. That means thank you very much. And usiku mwema. Did I say that right?
Yeah, usiku mwema means good night in Swahili. All I want to say to you is thank you guys for viewing us and having us all the time. We've been doing a live stream, so hopefully you're going to have a very amazing day and amazing weekend endly. So thank you so much, guys.
Okay, goodbye from Stone Town, Zanzibar. See you sometime soon, probably somewhere on the island.
Goodbye.